I was a young officer stationed on base, with no family remaining. Alone in the world, a 4-star admiral came in for a briefing. I noticed his ring. It was identical to my late father's. I confronted him, and he turned pale. "Who is your father?" he asked. I spoke the name, and the admiral began to cry. What he told me next changed everything. Do you know what it feels like to have your entire world shatter, only to realize the shards were never what you thought they were in the first place? My father's death was ruled an accident, a tragic mistake, but the moment a 4-star admiral's hand trembled at his name, a man who wore my father's exact ring, I knew that silence, that grief, that accident, was nothing but a calculated lie. What the hell happened next would change everything I thought I knew. People always assume Navy SEALs, especially officers like me, walk around with this unshakable confidence. But the truth? Silence weighs heavier on us than fear, especially the kind that settles deep after a devastating loss. I've been living in that kind of silence for nearly 2 years. Ever since the night I got the call that my dad's car had veered off the highway. I remember standing in my barracks room afterward, staring at my reflection, trying to convince myself I was still a SEAL, still an officer, still whole. But grief doesn't care about your rank or your training. It creeps in through the cracks, through the lonely hours between duty and sleep, through empty holidays and quiet mornings. It had left me completely alone, a junior officer by rank, but a 30-year-old woman carrying a lifetime of service and far too many ghosts. The morning the admiral arrived, the base had this particular stiffness to it, you know? The kind you only see when top brass is about to set foot on the grounds. Marines at the gate stood a little straighter. Security swept every hallway twice. Even the air conditioning felt louder, like the vents were nervous. I was knee-deep in post-deployment paperwork when the buzz started moving across the building. He's here. He just landed. They're bringing him through the south entrance. A 4-star admiral rarely visits a mid-sized stateside installation like ours. Whatever he was here for, it wasn't routine. I wasn't assigned to his briefing, wasn't even supposed to be in the same hallway. But fate, or maybe something far bigger, placed me there at the exact moment he walked in. The first thing I noticed wasn't his uniform, or his ribbons, or the immense aura of command that surrounded him like a shield. It was his left hand. Specifically, the ring on it. A thick, heavy navy ring, with a custom-carved trident, polished edges, and a deep blue center stone. My father's ring. His exact ring. A one-of-a-kind piece he designed with a jeweler friend during his final years in the service. He wore it every single day, and when he died, they told me it had never been recovered from the wreck. Seeing it again nearly knocked the wind right out of me. I stared, not breathing, my heart slamming against my ribs. My father's ring wasn't mass-produced. It wasn't something you could find online or pick up at the full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.